going on, Jerome? So, of course, we know that Justin freaking Jefferson is the best wide receiver in the National Football League, and we almost become so numb to it. I've become so numb, and it's not like we take him for granted, but it's just like we're watching greatness. We're watching a future first ballot Hall of Famer. We're watching someone who potentially could go down as the greatest of all time in his position. Now, yes, that could be putting the cart before the horse, but it is what it is. Also, he and J.J. McCarthy synced up a long time. Something beautiful, man. And throughout Kirk Cousins, throughout Sam Darnold, throughout the Passionate, throughout all this stuff, Jefferson has put up those numbers. He would have the most yardage for a first-year player. Well, he did at the time, and then Chase broke it a year later. But he would have more than 1,400 if he was allowed to start the first two games. Not saying, I'm just saying. But B.C. Johnson, you got to start B.C. Johnson, right, Zim? Come on, man. Also, it's a 16-game season, 2020. But, of course, Jefferson is the king. But something you don't really think about is value. And, yes, Justin Jefferson was a massive value as he was taken in the back end of the first round in 2020. Now, some draft prognosticators said that they would have taken Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson because they're worried about Justin Jefferson only playing in the slot. Don't know who that was. But long story longer, Eric Edholm over at NFL.com did up a good piece that was actually pretty nice. Eric Edholm is not AI. Top 5 NFL draft values of the Millennium at wide receiver. And Millennium sounds like, yeah, except you just realize, it's the last 25 years. Tyreek, Jefferson bring booming returns. Now, Jefferson is the only first-round pick in this group, which kind of makes sense because it's hard. You have to be really, really good and maybe drafted later in the first round, as Jefferson was at number 22, to be considered a value in the first. It's pretty good. But we'll get to Jefferson in a sec. But Steve Smith, number 2, third rounder, 74 overall in 2021, 2001, excuse me. Yeah, Steve Smith was great. Coming out of Utah, Steve Smith and Chad Ochocinco Johnson were teammates at a community college in California back in the day. Really good stuff. Also, Tyreek Hill at 3. Remember, Tyreek Hill was basically a running back in college at Oklahoma State. 5th-round pick, drafted on speed and potential, and became a little something with the Chiefs. Right? Devontae Adams, 2nd-round pick, coming out of Fresno State. They're like, how good can he be? And then you realize, he was playing with a Derek Carr, so he must be really good. So that's what Devontae did. And then Marcus Colston. This one's good. I really loved and respected Marcus Colston, except for him being part of the Saints, so screw him. But, Colston was great in fantasy. He was the OG big slot, 6'5". He was 200 pounds. I think he came out of Hofstra. Hofstra doesn't even have a football program anymore. It's one of two. But basically, he just came in as a 7th-round pick and was how did he never make a Pro Bowl? 6 1,000-yard seasons. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, but Colston was solid, but of course, number 1. And like I said, all these other guys, 3rd-round picks, 5th-round picks, 7th-round picks, you got to be really effing good to be considered the number 1 value as a first-round pick. And for Jefferson, yes, he's a first-round pick in the 2020 draft, but Jefferson was the 5th receiver taken, and he's arguably the best wideout in the game today. That class was loaded at the position. CD, Higgins, Pittman, Ayuk, Jerry Jeudy, others, but Jefferson stands alone. Can you imagine if the Eagles had taken him instead of Jalen Reagor? Jefferson's total body work doesn't quite stack up, as several other receivers in this era have more catches and yards. Wait, what? Okay. But Jefferson is on a historic pace to the start of his career. In spite of some up and down quarterback play through 77 games, Jefferson is the current all-time leader in receiving yards per game at a stunning 96.5, which is 9 yards better than number 2, Jamar Chase, and he's well ahead of Hall of Famer Jerry Rice's production in his first 5 seasons. And we did have that graphic up. There you go. We're through 5 seasons, Jerry Rice had 6,364 yards. Now, he did have a couple Super Bowls. But, of course, he had Joe Montana and Steve Young launching him the rod, as well as Rich Gannon, which is pretty damn good, right? Jeff Garcia wasn't bad either. Yeah. But Jefferson has about 1,100 yards more than Jerry Rice through 5 seasons. Now, part of it is era. Yes, it's much more of a passing league than it was in the late 80s. Also, you look into the 17-game season. It's going to be 18-game season. But also Jerry Rice played for 20 years at a very high level. So I think that Jefferson, Jefferson could threaten this, right? Especially if it's him and J.J. McCarthy, and if J.J. McCarthy becomes who we think he's going to be. Like, if McCarthy is 80 cents on the dollar of a Joe Montana. I think that if Jefferson plays for 12, 13 years with the Vikings and McCarthy, I think that he breaks the record, 100%. With all the other factors, passing league, extra games, and all that stuff, I think that he does it. But it's weird. It's weird to get just a smidgen of respect from the national media jabroni haircuts. But again, that speaks to how good Jefferson is, where all the jabronis, all the Eric Edholms of the world, all the AI writers have to be like, yeah, he's pretty good, even though he's a Viking. There you go. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. NFL.com calls Justin friggin' Jefferson the greatest value wide receiver of this millennium. It's pretty good. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts, comment section. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.